Hello, welcome to Verbling. Hi there. I'm Teacher Oakley, and once again, as we're going to do for 5 days this week, today is the second class. During this particular time period, we are going to be looking at the IELTs speaking test. Yesterday was more or less an overview of what to expect on the test. Today, practice begins. We are going to start with part 1 questions. You guys are going to answer questions. I will give you some feedback, and yeah, we'll get some good practice in here, hopefully. Okay. Hello, Moro.
Morning, teacher. How are you?
Morning, afternoon.
In the morning here.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever. Hello, Long.
Hi.
Hi, Long. I had a
It's Long.
Long. What?
Yeah, it's a Vietnamese name.
How do I say it?
Long.
Long. Okay, but you know what? I'm gonna call you Long because I had a very good friend back in the United States, and his nickname was Long Island, and because he was from Long Island, and everybody called him Long. He was very tall.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. So, all right. It'll be like having an old friend with me. Okay, terrific. Great. Hello, Idris.
Hello, sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Superman. Okay, thanks for joining. Hope you're ready for some IELTS speaking practice today.
Yes.
Very good. Hello, Allah.
Hello, teacher.
Hi, welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Thank you,
And hello to Tony. All right, you're back. Terrific. Hey, Tony.
Yes. Hi, teacher.
Hi. Okay, guys. Let's do some practice. A short intro, and then we'll get right to it. In part 1, there are 3 parts to the IELTS speaking test. Part 1, personal preferences and personal information about yourself. Not deeply personal, but casual, everyday conversation kind of topics, ranging from books you read, music you listen to, festivals, transportation, traffic in your city, things you do every day, things you own, food, lots of things to do with food in restaurants, and very typical things that we all know about. Computers, maybe cell phones, things that we all have experience with. Now, the range of topics is huge, frankly, and you're never going to learn in every topic, really. It's fairly impossible, especially since IELTS adds new topics. I think every 3 to 4 months they're going to add some new topics, which will be coming up. So you never know. And they also reformat how they ask the old questions, so they'll ask the same old questions, but in an entirely different way. Okay, I want to share something with you guys who are serious about taking an IELTS test. Hang on a second. Here, in the Verbling chat box, is a great website that you can use. It's basically an open blog site where students, such as yourself, talk about the questions that they've recently had on the IELTS test. So you can check out some of the recent questions, and they have long drop-down lists of topics. You want to explore some of the topics. And also check out what is on recent tests. That can be very helpful because you can see what recently they people blog from all over the world. You can see what recent topics have come up. Okay, it's impossible to understand to prepare for each and every topic. Don't bother. You're wasting your time. So what you should prepare for is the fact that they do ask certain types of questions. General description, often to open the conversation. A preference question, what types of music do you like? For example, what kinds of movies do you see? Something like that. Likes and dislikes. What do you like about your city? What do you dislike about your city? What do you like about your job? What do you dislike? These are very common. Rarely in part one do you have an opinion question. It usually comes near the end of the interview of part one, but occasionally you do. In part one, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. Definitely speak in full sentences. No one-word answers, please. Try to give a little bit of detail. Okay. We're going to start. One thing, in part one, they will ask you, you'll sit down, what is your name? They may ask, how shall I address you? Or what should I call you? Or what do you prefer to be called? They want you to give your comfortable name, whatever you want to be called. Then they're going to ask you one of two things in part one. Always. The entire rest of the test, it could be any topic at all. In the very beginning in part one, they're going to ask you one of two things. And those things are either they're going to say, well, let me demonstrate. Mauro?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about where you live.
Well, I'm living in Madrid, in the city center, where my house is located near the big train station. Atocha is in the very close to Retiro Park. Retiro Park is a very nice park in Madrid town. Well, it's a very quiet area or district, and sometimes I go out for working out and working in the Retiro area, working, breathing, and relaxing, a relaxing time. Well, I think it's a really good area, in my opinion, because I think I've been living there for 8 years. It's a very long time. I think I accustomed to this area.
Okie dokie. That would be a
Okay.
typical opening question, asking where you live. Now that question can come in many forms. Tell me about your neighborhood. Describe the city where you live. It could be even more specific. Tell me something about your what is your apartment like? Okay, what kind of building do you live in? All right, where you live. That was very good. Let me give you feedback and make some
Thank you.
comments as well. Okay, you gave me the name of a park, obviously in your native language. All right, here's an important thing. Speaking in your own first language. Okay, if you're giving me a name like Moro did, the name of a park, and it's a foreign-sounding name, don't worry about that. Perfectly okay. No problem. If they're asking about a movie or a book or a title, and okay, here's where, okay, you should be a little careful. You should say, you can say the title of the movie in the foreign language, yours or any other foreign language, but you should say, okay, it's called El Porto, and that means the door in English. You should translate it. Okay, for you should translate it. Do not ever speak. This is like a death shot, a fatal shot. Don't speak in your own language and say, "Oh, how do you say that word in your language?" For example, that's really bad. All right, so foreign languages, how to handle it. If it's a name, don't worry. If it's a title, you should translate it. Otherwise, never, ever, ever, ever. Okay, Moro did a very good job. Plenty of content with all related to the question, which is extremely important. He gave me details in different areas, describing physically what's there, describing how he feels about it. Really good technique. Don't be afraid to describe how you feel about whatever comes up in the IELTS test, because that forces you to use more abstract language, and they want to hear that, believe me. Good job, a really terrific job. Small problem, pronunciation, area.
Area.
Okay,
Area.
that's better. Yes, it shouldn't sound like aria. An aria is what an opera singer sings. Oh! So area, okay. Okay, I just did it. Okay. Moro said, well, he used some hesitation devices to help himself keep thinking, keep going, and continue to speak continuously, fluently. This is good, actually. This is good technique. Well, let me see. I guess that, okay, making these kinds of noises is okay. What Morrow did and what I'm doing is okay. To sit there and go, well, I live on a very nice street, which is located very close to the train station. Not good. Using repeated filler over and over again. Not good. In fact, general rule of thumb, repeating anything, whether it's a filler sound, the same transition word, as well, blah, 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 as well, blah, 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 as well, blah, blah, blah. Not good. You should avoid repetition of any sort. Entire phrases, one word, even a sound like Okay. That was a very good answer, and you would not have any problems with that answer. One problem, you go somewhere for working out. In English, we say to work out. So you had a collocation problem, preposition and verb collocation. Believe me, IELTS is looking for phrases. They're looking for collocations, words that go together, whether they're prepositions and verbs, adjectives and nouns. You're going to be in trouble if you're just connecting one word at a time. You need to be speaking in phrases. That was good. Okay, you're going to get either a question about where you live, so you should practice that, or you will get this question, lung or long. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you work or do you study?
Uh, I'm a student at the University of Economics of Da Nang City, and Oh, I'm run out of idea.
Okay, try to avoid that. Okay, when you come to a sentence, if you're done and you can't think of anything, stop. It's better to just stop with maybe you didn't say enough, but it's better to stop than to try to continue and end in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, that was kind of sudden, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's all right. We're learning here. That's the idea. Uh, Okay, so the first question may be, are you a student and or do you work? You can answer quite shortly, actually. Actually, I'm a student. Give your major, like you did. That's terrific. Uh, okay, Long. Why did you choose that major?
Uh, actually, I used to study engineering, but I felt like engineering is not what I wanted to do, so I switched my profession. So now and since I've been working part time in some business, I think I might be good with economics.
Okay. Uh, okay. Good answer. 3 or 4 sentences. Okay, that's what you're looking for in part one. Very good. A little pronunciation problem. I think you said felt like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you lost the T, so it sounded like fell like. Be careful, okay? You're Vietnamese, right?
Yes.
All right. You Vietnamese speakers, Spanish speakers as well. Uh, every I'm not picking on you. Everyone has their own issues with, speaking English, but Long, you have to be very careful about pronouncing the ends of words, especially when
Mhm.
you're joining words. Felt like. If you have to slow down a little, then slow down a little. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since was another one. And since then. Again, the end of the words, the s at the end was not there. All right, and they're going to catch that. Trust me. Uh, okay, and the final, every vocabulary was okay. Very much topic related. You stayed on topic. Very good. It was. I thought economics would be good. I think you said good with me
Mm,
or
no,
not.
no. I think I said good with that.
Oh, good with that. Okay, I missed the whole sentence. It seemed like the preposition was wrong, but now I don't remember what you said. I'm sorry. I wrote down the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, that's what you're looking for, and definitely remember to stay on topic. You did. No problem at all. Definitely stay on topic. Uh, Tomorrow we'll talk about part two, and part two it's easier, but uh, topic related vocabulary is something they're looking at. Tomorrow when we practice part two questions, you actually have preparation time. Just write down as many words related to the topic, whether it's traveling or famous people, whatever the topic is, as many words as you can, because that's definitely going to help your score. As many different topic related words as they can hear, they're actually making little check marks. By the way, the guy who's giving you the test, he may be actually sitting there with paper and a pencil, and he may actually be sitting there literally making check marks as you speak. Don't let that freak you out. Whatever he wants to do, ignore him. Don't ignore him. You should act like you're talking to him. It makes it easier for you, actually. Uh, okay, Idris.
Yes, sir.
Idris. Okay. Um, Okay.
Audible?
Let's give you a try. Similarly, at the beginning, freak out. Yes, scared, Moro. Very good. Don't freak out. Right. Idris, how about you? Do you work or do you study?
Actually, I've completed my engineering recently. Am I audible?
It's a little low on the volume end there.
One
It's
second.
just a little bit low volume.
Okay. Is it okay now?
It's a little better. Thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
Should I start now?
yeah, let's start over again. Okay.
Okay.
Do you work or do you study?
Actually, I've recently completed my computer science engineering, and yeah, so
Okay. Uh,
should I say something more?
it yeah, a little bit more would help. Yeah, and I'm starting to look for a job or
Okay.
yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more.
Okay,
What?
I'll say it now. So my future plan is to study MBA in any. I'm selected two countries, Australia and US. So for that, I'm writing IELTS exam.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So maybe I'll apply it for in a spring intake, this coming spring intake.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you like about your area of study?
My area of study, actually, I have done in engineering computer science, but I don't know anything about MBA, which is business administration, which I'm going to do. Yeah. So should I tell that what I've done, or should I say what I'm going to do?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's a very good question. I'm glad this came up now and not in your IELTS test. Talk about what you've done because you've done it and you have that experience.
Okay.
Some basic advice for everyone. Anytime you can talk about your own personal experience, everybody, I don't care, thousands of students I've talked to, everybody speaks better if they're more knowledgeable about the information they're talking about. It's natural. And if you've actually experienced things, your flow of thought will be much more fluent. You'll be able to think in a progression because the memories are in your actual brain. You're going to be speaking more fluently. So instead of talking about things you haven't done, always opt for things you have done. Don't be afraid to give if later in the test and opinions, or if a opportunity comes up to tell a story, and it most certainly will in part two. That's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to tell a story. Um, Feel free, but at any point, part one or part three, if the opportunity comes in to give an example by telling a story about something that happened to you, then yeah, seize that opportunity by all means. If you think of an example that makes your point, um, go for it. Absolutely. Okay. Uh, Idris, uh, okay. Uh, what do you dislike about your area of study, computer science?
What I dislike is the computer languages, which gets updated day by day, and you have to, or you also have to get updated on that stuff. Yeah, so that that would be some little bit of a hectic task for me.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. That's what I'm looking for. It's a really hectic task for me. It's very frustrating. I get so frustrated sometimes I could just scream. Okay, these kinds of talking about your feelings, all right, where you're going to use sort of, if not actual idiomatic language, then at least you're going to use very colloquial language to, all right. These are, that's what IELTS is looking for. Speaking of in the beginning, Idris, I couldn't hear him. You guys are all guys. I'm sure you guys, I've talked to all you guys. You don't really have a problem with this, but make sure that you are speaking loudly and clearly because they are going to be recording it on a microphone. You don't have to shout, but of course, obviously speak clearly and make sure you're speaking loud enough so that you're heard. If the microphone doesn't hear you, then you don't get a score. Okay. One other thing that's Idris, you said that's why I think you said you're writing the IELTS exam. Normal collocation, you take an exam. Always. So if it comes up, okay, that's why I'm taking the IELTS exam. So you always take an exam.
Okay.
Take a test, take an exam, take a quiz, whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Allah, are you ready? Are you ready
Yes.
for me here?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your hometown. Tell me something about your hometown. Where are you
Mhm.
from?
Okay. I'm from Jordan. My hometown is Amman, the capital of Jordan. It's the biggest city in Jordan, and it's the center of cultural, maybe commercial, or uh, the activities are there. The most are centered in in the capital. So, but actually, now I'm living in another city. I'm not in my hometown for work. I work outside my hometown.
Okay. Nicely done, actually. Nicely done. Sometimes this question trips up. This is a very common question, by the way. They may ask, tell me about the city where you live. They may ask, tell me about your hometown. You have to know the difference. Your hometown is where you grew up as a kid. Where you live now is where you live now. However, I want to use this opportunity to explain to you that you can lie. If you want to. If you feel more comfortable talking about your hometown, then talk about your hometown. No one's going to fact check you. If you're more comfortable talking about the place where you live now, talk about what the place where you live now. Allah very smoothly transitioned from explaining his hometown, which great job, a little extra detail, cultural center, yeah, okay, very good, cultural center, all right, co-locations, very nice job, and nice transition, actually, and I loved his intonation, but actually, I actually heard a sharp rise in voice, but actually, I now live in another place where I'm working, or whatever you said. That's great. That's very natural English speaking. The entire idea of the IELTS test is to speak naturally. You're not trying to impress anybody with the facts. You're just trying to speak as naturally as possible. Uh, it was actually a very good job. Uh,
Thank you.
Allah, weird question. How how far is Petra from Amman?
Yeah, Petra is somehow far from Amman.
Is it?
It's about 300 kilometers south to Amman. So you may need 3 hours trip, 3 hour trips in a car to reach Petra.
Okay. You may need to take a 3-hour trip. All right, I take again, take a test, take a trip. Uh, okay, and also it's south of Amman, not
South of.
south to Amman, south of.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, that was not really an IELTS question. That was an Oakley question. I was just
Okay.
curious. I was interested. Um, okay, but it was worth doing because there may be questions about are there any famous places in your country where
Mm,
tourists go? That would be a normal
yes.
IELTS question. So it was worth practicing that actually. That was not a waste of time at all. Uh, okay, very good. Tony,
Yes, please.
Tony, where do you live? Can you describe where you live a little bit?
Yes. I live in Modena. It is a city in the north of Italy. Uh, I studied here and now I'm looking for a job. I really like the city. It's not too big, but you can do whatever you want. So I I enjoy this city.
Okay, nothing wrong with that answer, except the intonation was a little bit at the end of every sentence. You kind of have it a rise, which is a little not right. You should use falling intonation at the end of sentences, but that was overall pretty good. Let me ask you another question, uh, Tony. Do you think it's better to live in the center of town, in a city, or is it better to live outside in the country?
For me, it's better to live in the center because I can go by my bike. I take uh, pullman, pullman or buses, and so I prefer living in the center.
Okay. All right. Tony, that's like minimum that you need. If you can give all right, if I ask you to describe your town or your job or whatever, a couple details. The magic number really is two. Later, when you're giving an opinion in part three, two supporting reasons at least, please. That's the magic number. Okay, sure. Tony gave me a couple reasons. Uh, Okay. Also, this question that I gave Tony was a preference question. Which do you prefer, in the city or in the country? This is another type of question you will see in part one. Uh,
And I gave you just one detail. Yes.
actually, no. I thought you said you can go by. Well, you said go by my bike.
Sorry, teacher, I didn't hear you.
I I think you said. Did you say I can go by my bike?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, I can I can ride my bike. I can go by bike. I can go by bike to anywhere. Okay, I want to go. All right. It's a little strange go by my bike. I can use my bike. I can ride my bike, but we don't use the possessive pronoun with go by.
Okay.
I go by my car. No, I go by car or I drive my car. Okay. That was a little strange. And I miss the second detail was something about you said something, you repeated it. I didn't understand it. Something buses.
It's when you take the bus.
Okay, you take the bus. Okay, I understood it that time. I understood that. Okay, the first time you even repeated it, I did not understand what you said.
Yes, because I said before Pullman, but
Okay, now that time I didn't
yeah.
understand it again. What? Pullman?
Yes, we say it's in Italian, but it's I have to check.
Pullman. Pullman is a
Uh,
kind of a train car.
yes,
Oh, I get it now. Oh, okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, here, this is an interesting example. Okay. Uh, this is very interesting. Okay. Tony referred to it as a Pullman. You can go by, okay, go by train or trolley, or if it's a city train, it's called a trolley, maybe. Streetcar. All right. But Pullman is really old. It's actually surprising I know that word. It's it's English, but it's what people called train cars like 100 years ago. So that
because
would,
in Italy we call the bus Pullman.
oh, okay. I see. Interesting. Okay. All right. It's interesting. A little kind of mixed up English. All right. Yeah, you got to be careful of that stuff.
Yes.
Okay. It's good to know. All right, I learned something. Thanks, Tony. Okay. Obed.
Hello,
Hello.
teacher.
Hello. Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
Okay, we're practicing for the IELTs test. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready for kind of a warm-up question? Obed, what what kind of a street? Sorry, what kind of street do you live on?
I I live in behind cross the highway.
Okay. All right. Okay. You live across the highway from what? Or I live across from the highway. Okay. Two
Okay.
different, across the highway, it doesn't really mean anything. I live from the highway means there's a highway and then there's probably your street and you live on the other side of this street. That's across the highway. Here's the highway, like elevated up here. I live across from the highway. Or you actually live on a highway. I live uh, across from the mall on the highway, for example. So,
Yes.
okay. All right. What is your street like?
In fact, I like street in the village.
Okay. All right. Okay. Again, remind everyone, IELTS, you need to be speaking full sentences, of course. Now, if they ask what your street is like, they may ask, what is your street like? They may ask, what is your neighborhood like? Basically, for English speakers, neighborhood, kind of the block around where you live. One street in each direction is your neighborhood, and your street is the street you live. But for all practical purposes, talking about the street where you live or the neighborhood where you live are the same thing. Okay? So you can answer those questions the same way. Okay. Hello, Adela. Welcome to the class.
Hello.
Hello. Long time no see.
Yes.
How are you? Okay. Adela, we're practicing IELTS. First, familiar questions about you and your personal preferences. Are you ready? I'm going to go into a
Yeah.
different topic area, kind of
Okay.
a wide area, free time. Uh,
Okay.
by the way, in IELTS, the interviewer may kind of introduce a change in topic. He may change the topic very subtly. He may say, "Oh, tell me about a famous building in your city." He's talking about your city, and then he'll say, "What is a famous building in your city?" And then suddenly, maybe he's talking about architecture and buildings. So
Okay.
the topic change could be bridged, transitioned smoothly, or it could be abrupt. He could say, "Okay, I'd like to talk to you about what you do in your free time." Um, Adela, do you have any hobbies or activities that you enjoy in your free time?
Yes, I like to travel, and overall, I like to travel with my caravan, and I go to the mountain with friends to do hiking.
Okay. Your caravan. That's okay. That's probably okay because that's very British. Oh, another. Okay, that reminds me. Thank you, Adela. Another important point about IELTS in writing and speaking. Uh, okay, many people have asked me, should I use British words, British grammar, British? It's a British test from Cambridge, Oxford University. Should I use all British? Or should I use British spelling in the writing test? Okay, here's the deal, folks. Either use British or use American. You can get a perfect score using all American idioms, American phrasal verbs, American spelling and writing. Um, and you can say gas instead of petrol. You can, say truck instead of lorry. It doesn't matter. Here's the deal. Be consistent. Don't go back and forth. Don't say I put gas in my lorry and went to the mountains. Oh, okay. Be consistent. Use British English or use American English, and then it will not affect your score whatsoever.
Okay.
Okay. So caravan. Okay, that's fine. I understand that that's British. Pronunciation: mountain.
Mountain.
Uh,
Mountain.
mountain. The second syllable
Mount.
is just ton.
Mountain.
That's better. Mountain. And it's very fast. First syllable stress, second syllable is unstressed syllable. It just sounds like schwa, like
Man-
mountain.
mountain. Mountain.
Better. Yes. IELTS will, in addition to your pronunciation of phonetics, they will be listening for syllable stress. Definitely. Okay, and last thing, Adela, you go hiking. All right. I forgot what you said, but you do hiking. You said do hiking, to do hiking. But you definitely go hiking. Go with any ing words. Now, this is very common to talk about activities. Okay, you go bowling, you go hiking, you go swimming, you go surfing. Any ing, use go. Here again, IELTS
Go
loves.
hiking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. IELTS loves co-locations, and go goes with ing. Activities. Activities
Morning, guys. Sorry to be late.
are very common. Hello, David. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
David, I'll come back to you in just a sec. I'm going to talk to Dom here for a moment. Oh. Hi, Dom.
Hi, hopefully.
Hey.
How are
Okay, Dom, is there a hobby or sport that you would like to try in the future?
you? And actually, I'm trying to do the scuba diving, and I hope I will try do that in the future constantly, because I don't had a few time to do that, and so it's interesting because I discover that I like to dive and
Okay. It kind of ended there. All right. Okay, for IELTS, obviously try to end the sentence. Don't try to end on a. Oh, maybe we had a connection problem. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, never mind. I think connection problem. Okay, Dom. All right. Here you be careful about your words. I'm sure you don't really want to go scuba diving constantly. That would, of course, mean that you never ever come out of the water. You will never see your family again. So, okay,
no,
not not quite the right word, right? Uh, you would like to go maybe more consistently, more often.
More often, yes.
There
Yes.
you go. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to go more often. You don't have a few time. You don't have enough time, you should say.
Enough.
Yep. Too busy. I don't have enough time. Okay, a little problem with the time phrases there. All right. Also, try to avoid, and any of you preparing for IELTS, really, you have to avoid the Okay, if this is a problem for you, here's a suggestion, take it or leave it. It's some advice. There are public speaking groups. Ding! I can't remember what it's called. Toasters. Toastmasters. Yeah, Toastmasters. Okay. Now you can actually join Toastmasters and experience this for yourself. But one of their that's it, Long. One of their activities is they have people give a speech, and every time the person says they ring a bell. Toing.
Okay.
It's sort of reverse Pavlov's dogs, if you know what I mean. That scientific experiment. Yeah, it's kind of the reverse of that. If you want to practice with somebody who will listen to you and who will actually go ding every time.
Okay.
Let me just say it works. It works very well for the members of Toastmaster Club. Maybe it'll work for you. Okay.
Yes, I need that.
Okay, well, it's an idea. You can try that.
Thank you for advice.
Sure. Okie doke. David, you're good at making toast, huh? Okay.
No, it is because someone asked Toastmaster question mark. So
okay.
This guy Long, maybe he doesn't know what that means. I don't know. So I think it is someone good at being toast, right?
Let me demonstrate. Cheers! Skål! All right, here's to your health. Woo! This is just water, by the way. All right, this is not vodka. Water only.
We trust you.
Good. Well, thank you for your.
And this is coffee.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. All right. We were doing the topic of free time, practicing for IELTS. The other thing, I asked Dom a question about the future. Please be aware of that. They're going to be asking you questions. They're going. You don't know when. They ask a question in the past. They ask a question in the future. For
In the
example,
future.
I asked Dom a future tense question because I want to hear future tense. So another small kind of a mistake that you made, Dom, for IELTS, if IELTS asks you what is something you'd like to try in the future, they want you to use future tense. So saying that I have been doing this, okay, you're not speaking, I want to try, I will try, I might try. They want to hear modals. I'm thinking about, I might do this, I could do that. They want to hear future tenses, for example.
Okay.
Switching it around, going to David. David,
Yeah.
what is an activity that you used to do which you no longer do anymore?
Well, I used to skate when I was younger than I am now. So, but now I'm not doing that anymore. But I used to skate. Yeah.
Okay. So here you go. Here's the thing with IELTS. What is my next question, David? Okay, I asked what.
Sorry, say it again.
Okay, I asked what did you used to do? I used to skate. What is the natural question now? What do you think?
I don't
Well,
know.
why did you quit?
Okay. Why I quit? Well, because I grew up and I think it came a time when I couldn't skate anymore. It was tiring. It was difficult to do it, so I just quit.
Okay. It was timing. Oh. Okay.
I said it came a time. Yeah, maybe it is too
it came a
formal.
time. Okay. Okay, it came a time. Okay, actually in English we say the time came, and I just didn't feel like doing it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So the time came when I didn't do it anymore. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's it. Okay, in regards to IELTS, sorry guys, it's raining really hard here, so I'm having a hard time hearing you guys. Okay, in regards to IELTS, in order so you can speak 3 or 4 sentences, and also so that you can show you understand the natural flow of English conversation, practice always answering the questions why. For example, going to demonstrate now for me. Moro, I'm coming back to you, buddy.
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry.
No problem. Moro, what's your favorite color?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Which my favorite color?
That's it.
Well, I think it's blue. I don't know why it's blue, but I think because I was born near the seaside, and I think blue is my favorite color for this reason, for the sea, the color of the sea. Well, that's all.
Okay. No need to add, but that's all. Please don't do that on the IELTS test.
Okay.
However, great job. Okay, I asked him what's his favorite color. He immediately, even though he didn't know, he said, well, I'm not sure why. All right. Once again, Moro, you're good at this. Giving himself a little extra time to think of what to say next. Excellent strategy. Okay, and then, I think maybe because I grew up near the sea, blah, blah, blah. Great. Very good. Answering the question why. Okay. This shows you actually know the flow of the IELTS. You know the flow of a conversation. IELTS questions, other than sometimes a topic break, will have a natural flow. If you can predict that flow, all to your credit. That's very impressive.
Okay.
Okay, so that was really good. By the way, that reminds me of something else, asking questions in the IELTS test. You, the test taker, should you ask questions? When should I? When can I? When can I not? Okay. All right, here's the thing. If you don't hear him, or you want to hear it again because you didn't understand a word, it is always okay to ask the interviewer to repeat it. Of course, if you ask him to repeat every question, he's going to think you're deaf. He's going to be shouting at you by the end of the interview. You may not want to do that. You can always, would you mind repeating that? If you're going to ask him to repeat because you didn't hear, ask him a different way. Excuse me, would you mind repeating that? Pardon me, would you mind saying that again? Excuse me, what was that? Okay, you're still showing your range of English skills. Even though you're asking questions, you can gain points. Now, you can always ask if you didn't hear. Now, okay, should you ask? Long, good question. If you want to give yourself time to think, if you're really confused, yeah, you can do that too. Wink, wink. All right, that's a possible strategy, a little cheat, but realize that you can't get away with it too often. But yeah, you could do that if you're, oh my God, what am I going to say? They could ask you some weird question like, are birds important in your country? That's a real IELTS question, by the way. And you may be thinking, what in the bleep? Sure, I'm sorry, what was that again? Sure, a little hesitation to give yourself time to think. Maybe a good strategy, yeah. Okay. Let me explain something. In part one, the interviewer has questions written for him by the Department of IELTS, whoever the evil trolls are. He has a set questions. He has to ask those questions exactly as they are written. So he cannot paraphrase them for you. All right? He can't reword the question. So if you're asking about, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean, he has no choice. He's just going to read the question over. All he can do is he can explain a word. Okay? If there's a vocabulary word in part one you don't know, he can tell you that word. He can give you a synonym, basically. In part two, the question is written, so you can read it. So there's no point in asking, but let me give you an example. I had a student who his question was explain a situation where you were in extreme weather. He's never experienced extreme weather, so he asked the interviewer, would it be okay if I talked about an experience I had in an earthquake? Sure enough, the interviewer said, yeah, go ahead. Sure, no problem. All right.
Oakley, sorry to interrupt you. How long does the interview last?
Roughly 13 minutes, 13 to 14 minutes in total. Okay. So actually, in part two, it's a good strategy to say, is it okay if I talk about this? If you think it is slightly off topic, that way, if he gives you the thumbs up, if he says okay, you're golden. There's no way you can go off topic, which is the big killer in IELTS. This will kill your score. Whatever you do, don't go off topic. It is better to ask a question than to go off topic, because that's really suicide.
Why is that?
Okay, because in IELTS, if you go off topic, they consider it like this. This is how their collective brains think. He doesn't know the grammar to use for that topic. He doesn't know the vocabulary to use to answer that question. He doesn't know how to organize his speech into a cohesive manner so he can answer that question. So 3 out of the 4 scoring elements, not including pronunciation, all right? But the other 3 scoring elements, you're going to get whacked. Because their thinking is the reason you're not answering the question directly is because you can't. Because you don't have the grammar, the vocabulary, or the organization to do so. So you get triple whack. That's literally a triple penalty if you go off topic. It's a killer. It really is. Okay. On the other hand, asking questions. In part 3, you can pretty much ask anything, because in this section, the interviewer has the prerogative to make up his own questions. He literally can make his own questions. So he can rephrase anything. He can put in a new vocabulary word, whatever. All right? So in part 3, you can ask anything. Part 1, just vocabulary. Part 2, you might ask if it's okay if you speak about blah, blah, blah. If you think you're...
Chris, I know it starts with Solingo.
Okay, I went way over time. I got carried away. Sorry about that. I have to go. And thank you, everyone. And I hope I see you here tomorrow, same time.
Bye.
Bye.